Oh, geez. Oh, man. That went much bigger than I thought it was. Can I go back to... Okay. Oh, boy. It really makes me big now. Hello, everyone. So I want to talk a little bit about, cover letters. So I have a video that I produced and put out. It was just about resumes, talking through a couple of resumes. I also have, 2 cover letter examples posted on Blackboard that you can check out. So I want to kind of talk through what is going well with those, what would I do to change them. Both of them are actually pretty good, but I think it'll be helpful to walk through them. Now, to re-emphasize, the things that go wrong with cover letters typically are that people screw up the formatting, write too much in the actual paragraphs themselves, or try to use really generic, vague language, like I'm hardworking, or I'm driven. Those are 2 ones that come up a lot. Or a common one is, I have communication skills. You know, what does that mean? Where do we see those? We really need more specific things in this day and age than just communication skills. So showing that you have those things and not just telling that you have those things is really critical once we get to the cover letter. The other thing, and I will say this time and time again to people, there are times you need to cut stuff off your resume, right? That you're like, oh, I just can't fit that in. Literally in your cover letter, there should be oodles of things that do not make it in. You should have so many things that don't make it into your cover letter that they have to read your resume to find out. Your resume and your cover letter are not equal documents. They don't cover the same amount of things, and that's okay, right? The goal of the cover letter is to choose the 2 maximum most important things, the things that are going to be the most important to this employer, and to write only about those 2 things, right? So the other goal is to make it skimmable and readable. It is one of the earliest places where an employer can find out, if you have kind of those communication abilities. So let's jump in. So you will all see, so I'm under sample cover letters under the example documents. We've got sample letter 1 and sample letter 2. So sample letter 1 comes from Jonathan Santana, who's applying for a copy editor job. And then 2 is going to be the new product development position for this Marine base camp. So I'm going to start with this one. So again, like I said with the resumes, I'd probably go through and read these first before I go and jump in to watch this part of the video. So I'd pause and then read them, but still, we can jump into it, I think, from here. So a couple things off the bat that I would notice about this one. So one, it formats the address and the business information exactly correctly. So it has their address. It has the date. It has the address of the person it's sending it to. It also has the salutation ending with a colon. A colon is the way in business communication, in the most formal way to do this. So in an informal setting, you would use a comma, but in the highest of the high settings, you use a colon. It is the most formal way to do this. All right, so then this person's interested in applying for this job. They kind of say, I recently got my bachelor's degree from this place. I would love the opportunity to use these things to help do these things at your newspaper. So the only thing I would change here, because so we've got the designer / copy editor, I would capitalize a couple of these things. So I think capitalizing the actual job title and saying it exactly as it appeared in the job ad. And then I would actually say this degree with some capitalization. So you'd have to rephrase it because it is correct here grammatically, but you want to emphasize that it is important and professional, right? So it's not just a category of things that you're doing in, but a full degree program that you have done. So really emphasize that there, I would tell the student, and did tell the student. The other thing is, it is a long sentence here because we've got, having done this thing, I would love the opportunity to use the blah, 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 to blah, 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 blah. So it's just a really long sentence. I would say, I have recently blah, 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 and I have skills and blah, blah, blah. And then do your, I would love the opportunity. I would take that, I love the opportunity, and put it here. So say, I would love the opportunity to use the skills I learned there. Or I would love the opportunity to use these skills to help create compelling and innovative blah, 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 right? So that's all I would say there. So then down here, so we've got the background of document design, makes me ideal position for candidate for this position. Beautiful, hooray, a topic sentence that really tells me at the start of this paragraph, oh, we're going to learn about document design. Then we've got concerned with writing, but also designing stuff. This person learned this thing. She's attached, or he's attached to the documents to the portfolio. Good. When you're thinking about how long should a paragraph be, how many sentences should it be, can it actually move through what it needs to move through? This paragraph is a good example, right? Starting sentence, I have these skills. Sentence 2 and 3, this is what these skills kind of look like. Sentence 4, here's where to go to find more information. So there's a specific in there of knows InDesign, which is good. It's a program, so we have that information, but it's really specific. It's to the point. So let's move on to the next paragraph here real quick. It says, in your advertisement, you mentioned that you need newsroom experience, right? So then the person's going to go on to talk about their newsroom experience. So worked at the school newspaper, did these things, and then worked in the summer off with the exponent. The problem with this paragraph is that there's so much here. So we really need to edit this down, cut 2 sentences from this. So I don't know if we need, it's 3 years, and then 3 years for the exponent prepared me for working in a fast-paced, deadline-driven environment like yours. Good, but then we need, in between my sophomore and junior years, I worked on the summer staff of the exponent. During this time, I gained some of the most valuable knowledge working in the newspaper. We could probably cut both of these sentences, right? Because basically the first sentence here is just saying, this is a different time when I worked there, and then I gained some valuable knowledge and experience, but it doesn't say what that experience was. So, what we shoulder a lot of responsibility. Here we go. Finally, on top of writing articles and talking about photographs, we had to copy, edit articles, and do them in InDesign, right? So, from here to the end, beautiful. But we have a couple sentences in the middle that are bogging it down as the person tries to say, here's when this actually happened. But they don't need that information, right? That information is not necessarily vital, and all they want to know is, I worked for this thing, here are exactly the skills I got, here's how they're going to apply to your company, right? So those specifics are important. We're really starting to miss out on some of those in that paragraph. Now, this is still a good cover letter. I just think it's not skimmable, right? So what the audience you're gonna still get is someone that's gonna read the cover letter. They'll find specifics from it if they really care. The problem is a lot of people do not care. They do not give an S about it. I don't know you also. I don't know if swearing is your way or not, but they do not care about you, and they really will not take a lot of time to read your cover letter, so they might miss out on that information if it's buried within a paragraph. So that's why it's important. All right, jumping back, let's go to the Jibbleman Dibs. I think I wrote that just because I thought it would be fun. So this is another way to format it. So we've got the date over here, and then we've got their personal information, and then the information down here. This is also perfectly fine if you want to save space and give yourself actually an extra line at the bottom. This is a way to do it, to take the date out of the middle and throw it over to the side. It technically is not the most professional of professional, but also no one's going to really bat an eye at probably 80% of the jobs, right? You still have the date there, and it still shows you know what you're doing. So once again, we can see we end with a colon, which is what we're supposed to do. So good, we've got that going. We do have then we've got extra large space here, which I don't know why we do. So here we've got a regular amount of space. Here we've got an extra large space. Here we've got an extra large space. So why the extra large space at times? I'm not quite sure. So let's jump into the actual letter. You can see this paragraph's going to be too honky. We got to cut stuff. I can see just from looking at it. And I'll be able to see just from looking at your cover letters, are there some paragraphs that are too chunky? So, but let's start off. I would like to apply for the new product thing that you posted on this thing. I'm interested in working for it because of blah, blah, blah. With over blah, 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 blah. I think I would make an excellent addition to your company. So this final sentence, with all of this stuff and this team experience, I think I'd be an excellent addition to your company. Good sentence. Really great. We also have the, here's where I am. Good. But I would like to apply. You just can say, I am applying. That's what I'm doing. That is literally the action you are taking. So that's like if I started this with, I would like to send you all a video. That's what I'm currently doing. So, and that's not a big deal. I don't think too many people get a bad eye, but it's just a little weak, a little passive, and you can go harder at that moment. So then, my education in product lifecycle management would allow me to benefit your company by quickly and accurately designing various parts into one unit. Good. Great topic sentence. Your job ad specifies these things, which is the package, blah, blah, blah. But then we go, in these classes, I've built a wide variety of different parts, and it tries to cover 2D parts, as you can see. It tries to cover 3D parts for a bit, and then tries to talk about a specific project, right? And then finally lands with, these sorts of experiences allow me to versatile worker and model many different types of parts and products that will become such as yours on a daily basis. So good final sentence, but really we have three things here, right? We've got 2D experience, 3D experience, and a specific project. It's too much. It's just, I know that I believe they mentioned all three of those things in the job ad, but I really would just probably then focus maybe even just on this final, what the person did, like one project, and then really just list, I have 2D and 3D experience, right? I don't know if it's really going to help you to really give the specifics there. But that's up to the person. Like if there was an argument that was, no, the project experience is less important, I really do think I should focus on the 2D experience. Good, but it needs to be less information. The paragraph needed to be less dense and just has to have less stuff in it so that the person who's reading it can really, really quickly read, focus, understand, and get the F out. That is the goal of these cover letters. All right, so let's jump on to the next paragraph, and then we'll be done. My engineering major has given me extensive knowledge of science and math, but also given me ample experience working in a team and order. Like, this long friggin' opening is like, this is not what it's done, right? So, like, just jump into, my engineering major has also provided me with team working experience, right? Don't say what it's not done. We don't have room for long, complex sentences here. We have to move through them quickly. During my sophomore year, I did this thing, so they could be used, the real world problems. Good. I like this paragraph. I don't think it's too bad. I just would change the opening sentence to be something that's more readable, to be honest. Thank you for your consideration. I look forward to hearing from you soon. My contact information can be found at the top of this document. I would still say, instead of just my contact information, I would say I can be reached. My best way to be reached is X or Y, to be able to say, like, if you want to reach me, please drop me an email at blah, blah, blah. Or if you want to reach me, please give me a phone call at blah, blah, blah. I look forward to hearing from you soon. It can be a quick paragraph, but you still need to have some signal of, here's the best way to get a hold of me, right? So both of these examples are pretty good. They're both very specific. They both have a lot of specific stuff in them. The sentences are well written. I believe it's grammatically correct and formatted well. But both of them did still struggle with packing too much stuff in. And whether you are the type of person that's saying, I don't have a lot of experience, so I can't, what do I put into this cover letter? Or if you're the type of person that's saying, I have so much experience, what do I put? Cover letters are really difficult to write, but are critically important, whether you're applying to an internship, to grad school, to a new job. These types of letters, these application letters, are critical. So, if you have questions about your letter, or what to put in it, or you're just outlining, please let me know. I'm more than happy to talk with you about what you do. Other than that, I'm going to be running out of time here soon. I hope you're all going to have a lovely weekend. Good luck with the cover letters, the resumes, and the interviews. Adios.